Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Diploma in Applied Artificial Intelligence livestream. I'm Krish, a first-year student in the Diploma in Applied Artificial Intelligence, or AAI for short. Firstly, let me introduce you to my course chair, Mr. Tan Siopo. Hello, Mr. Tan.
Hello, everyone.
Could you share with us more about the Diploma in Applied Artificial Intelligence? For example, what do students learn in this course?
The Diploma in Applied Artificial Intelligence aims to train the students to develop smart applications. So in the first year, the students will learn the basics fundamentals of IT. For example, they will learn how to create a mobile application and a web application. They will also learn the basics fundamentals of networking so that they can build a simple home network. And further than that, they will also be able to learn the basics of data analysis so that they can understand how data works and how to interpret data. Going up to the second year, they will focus on the AI core subjects. For example, they'll be learning machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, IoT, and cloud technologies, for example, and also AI and ethics subjects. Now, in the third year, they will venture into the more applied-based subjects, for example, AI in advanced manufacturing and AI in cybersecurity. Also, in the third year, they will also be taking internships in external companies and also a final year project.
Wow, thank you for sharing. What kind of jobs could a graduate take up, and what types of companies could they join?
Graduates from this diploma can look forward to working as an artificial intelligence engineer, machine learning engineer, or software engineer, or even data analyst. They can also look forward to working in companies such as Grab, Shopee, IBM, Lazada, etc. Especially in recent years, many companies are venturing into AI areas, and they are also leveraging on AI in their own company. One such company is Infineon. Right? So Infineon has invested a lot of money in upgrading their staff or their employees, and also putting in more AI projects in the company to move into this transformation area.
I'm certainly looking forward to joining some of these companies once I graduate. Next, can you share a little bit about the type of facilities you have in the Diploma in Applied Artificial Intelligence?
Sure. We have two facilities currently. The first one is the TP Huawei AI Innovation Lab. So this lab aims to provide or give the students a venue to actually do their projects related to AI. We will also conduct workshops and talks in this venue. And students can look forward to learning AI applied in different areas. For example, how does AI and IoT come together? And so they will build their projects within this venue. The second facility is the AI Application Center. So this center actually showcases the AI projects done by our staff and students. So we will select, every year we will select projects to be displayed and showcased in this venue.
Thank you. Could you share with us the further study opportunities for graduates of this course?
Definitely. So graduates of this course can look forward to different paths of further studies. The first one I would like to mention is the work study program. So in this work study program, graduates will be, for example, doing a 12 to 18-month training period. They will work in leading IT companies in Singapore. And when they sign on, they will have an incentive of $5,000. So this work study program aims to deepen the skills of the students or the employees through workplace learning. Some of the courses they are related to work study programs are, for example, specialist diploma in big data and analytics, which is offered in Temasek Poly. Other than the work study program, students can also venture into the post-diploma courses. for example, specialty diploma in AI solution development. And if the students wish to go into degree courses, then they can also apply for universities locally as well as overseas.
Thank you. Lastly, Mr. Tan, what kind of attributes do you need to be good in this course?
Well, you should have a very keen interest in technology and want to create smart applications using AI. So a strong interest in, a strong curiosity and interest in coding or programming and learning new things is very important. The right disposition is important. So as long as you are really keen to learn about new technologies, new way of programming, like coding, and then you have good grades in subjects like mathematics, then you should consider joining this course. AI knowledge and skills are very much in demand, and this demand is ever growing.
Thank you so much for sharing, Mr. Tan. We definitely have a much better idea about the course now.
Thank you.
Next, let me introduce everyone to my fellow coursemates in the Diploma in Applied Artificial Intelligence. Hi, Khushbu and Jasper. Could you share with everyone, why did you decide to take up this course?
So I actually decided to take up Applied Artificial Intelligence, mostly because it was like being given, like the pamphlet for AI was being given to me in my secondary school. And I was quite intrigued by AI because it was a very up and rising theme that time that, oh, AI is like, well, there was the concern that AI is going to take over the world. So it had taken the world by the storm. And mostly because I am interested in AI, I think that I have seen a lot of my own like friends and some of my own family members who are in like the IT sector. So AI was like quite an in thing then. And I think based off on the experiences that has been told to me by my own family members and friends, I think my incline of like interest in AI was developed then. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to join AI.
What about you, Jasper?
For me personally, I actually have a little bit of coding background. So with like the advancement of technology and everything, artificial intelligence is bound to be very important in the working industry in future. So I felt like this course was perfect for me.
As for me, I've always had an interest in computer science. I feel that it's very future-centric industry, but there's something about AI that has always struck me with interest. For example, I've been inspired by movies such as Iron Man, where he has his own personal assistant, right? And I always wanted to create something like that. So I think that in that sense, AI is really cool. So guys, how does the school expose you to the industry?
I would say this. Sorry, Jasper, you may go first.
All right. The school does expose us to the industry. So for instance, Temasek Poly has an advanced manufacturing center, which is an applied and skill-based training center. So it's like the perfect place for our students to go beyond our mere studies and discover more about the fascinating industry out there, with AI and digitally driven components for us to learn from. So like with the Industry 4.0 set to transform Singapore's manufacturing sector, it's very important for us to keep ourselves educated on the advancements of artificial intelligence and such. So yeah.
And Khushbu?
I would say like how our school exposes us is like the ECG counselors that we have. So they are usually open, and like I have gone for one of the sessions and I've asked them like, oh, is there any job scopes that AI has in the work industry? And they have given me some examples about how AI is actually a very up and coming like sector in the workforce. So she told like the ECG counselor, they actually told me about, oh, you could like start considering about what kind of jobs you want to go for. So I think that the school exposes us to like the industry, like they keep us up and ready. Not only like the ECG counselors, I would say even our lecturers, they usually give us some hints and tips like, oh, if you are in this and this diploma, you can usually go and see around, like read some news, keep yourself aware about how the industry is changing and evolving and about how you can play a role in it. So yeah.
And the school also provides many emails that give us opportunities to participate in talks with, say, Huawei, for example, because Temasek Poly is partnered with Huawei. And they have AI talks where they explain to us how AI works in an industrial level. And that's also one way to expose year one students to the working industry of applied artificial intelligence. Jasper, what do you enjoy most about your course or our course?
Personally, the one thing I enjoy most about the course is the freedom of creativity. So, although we are taught the same coding languages and learn the same lessons, our main projects allow us to showcase our creativity through our final submissions, such as creating mobile applications and websites, where we are able to express our innovative minds, be it for the design elements or functionality. The learning process can be a tough journey, but the outcome of it all just makes it that worth it.
What about you, Kushbu?
I would say that it's usually the whole like process of like how we are learning the different things regarding our modules. And I would also say like being able to learn how to make a mobile application and web application. I think that is what is quite enjoyable about this whole process.
I couldn't agree more. So how have you guys been coping with your studies? Maybe Kushbu wants to go.
Well, I would say having a very like planned like schedule about how my projects are supposed to go. So like keeping deadlines for myself, like for example, recently for one of our web application, we have a certain deadline by when the certain parts of our projects is due. So keeping myself on a schedule that, oh, by this date, I need to finish this part of my project, I need to finish that part of my project. So I think time management is like one of the very like important things that I use in order to like keep myself ready with like all my submissions and everything.
What about you, Jasper?
Similarly to Kushbu, I feel like time management is the key for us to make sure that we're on track. So like whenever I'm given an assignment, I immediately already have an idea like when I'm gonna finish this, like set a deadline for myself. And I feel like that's important because we need that self-discipline in order to get things done. Yeah.
I agree with that. Time management is very important. I also think that when we're doing our projects, we should also have some self-learning at home so that we can also keep ahead with the class so we don't fall behind, and then we can complete our projects with ease and it's not very difficult. So finally, before we end, do you guys have any tips for the new batch coming in on Poly Life? Jasper?
So obviously being prepared and everything, it's important, but with the resources that you get when you take up this course, it is actually enough to fill you in for what you need for your projects and everything. But if you have the chance, it is obviously better to maybe take up some courses, online courses, to get yourself a little more knowledgeable in the field of programming. Yeah.
Kushbu?
I would say similar to that, like when I came to TP myself, my first day, I wasn't exactly, I had a little bit of knowledge about how to do basic programming, but I would say the most important thing that you should be prepared with is time management. You should really just know how to better handle your time because like you need to know how to prepare yourself if you have like multiple submissions like we have had. You need to know how to manage yourself because if you don't pace yourself, that one day everything will just come collapsing on you. And to avoid that, I think being able to prepare yourself by having proper time management is good. If you have some background or no background in like programming or anything, it's nothing to be like afraid or worried about because I think generally our teachers have like helped us a lot. Like it's not a must for you to be skilled in every programming language if you do not have any background at all. It's also okay because we usually tend to cover it all up in our first few weeks when we were doing our modules, and those are quite resourceful, and being able to like understand how everything works and like just like being able to learn coding in like school. If you're like, oh my god, if I come to poly in like this diploma and I have no coding, that means I'm obviously going to fail. It's not true. You usually have like a lot of our lecturers and like a lot of like resources are given to you to like better handle about how you're going to like progress in your studies. So yeah.
That's a very good tip. I think my one main tip is don't underestimate the course because a lot of people feel that once they hear that School of IT doesn't have any exams. They're like, wow, no exams. What? It must be a really slack course, right? But actually, we have a lot of very tough projects. Not insanely difficult, but it requires, as you said, time management to fully complete all these projects, and it also requires you to be on top of your work when you're in school. So you can't really slack off in every lesson and rush the last hour. You sort of have to spend every day or at least some time every week to learn by yourself in your own time, so that you can keep up with the class and you can be ahead of everyone, so you can learn and complete your projects. I think that's one major tip that has really helped me in poly life. So thank you guys again, Kushbu and Jasper, for sharing, and hopefully we'll see you back in school soon. Now, we will move on to our final segment of the live stream, which is questions and answers. Thank you.
Hello, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Siu Po, and I'm the course chair for the Diploma in Applied Artificial Intelligence. And I'm very glad to be here to answer your questions. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to forward them and post them so that I can see them and I can answer them for you. Well, the first question over here is, you don't have exams, so what kind of projects will we work on? Well, yes, we don't have exams in this course, but we do have a lot of exciting courses for the students to work on. For example, the students will get to learn how to create a mobile application. The students can also learn how to create a website or a web application. Other than that, they will of course progress to more AI applications to be created. For example, they can learn how to create object recognition applications that can understand and detect objects and then recognize the objects. Other than that, the students can look forward to also creating chatbots and text classification kind of projects. So these are some pretty exciting projects for the students to work on. So the next question is, are there a lot of companies that hire AI grads? Well, AI at the moment is a very, very new area, and a lot of companies, of course, are looking at hiring AI grads or AI jobs related work tasks. And so companies such as Grab, for example, all right, they do have employees who are working on AIs, relevant applications. And so you can, of course, because it's a new area, and a lot of companies are actually jumping into this bandwagon to move their business processes as well as the applications towards AI. So you will see that in the coming years, more and more companies will be hiring AI jobs and AI grads for the jobs in AI. Oh, okay, there's another question here. What kind of companies will we do internship in? The good thing about AI is that it is applicable towards the whole industry. So in any industries, for example, health, transportation, finance, scientific, you will see a lot of AI's applications being built there. So there are companies, the kind of companies that our students can look forward to internship will be companies such as NCS, Essential, or ST Technologies. So these companies actually will make use of AI, and there are a lot of projects in these companies that will be AI based, and so you can look forward to doing internship in these companies. How many intake for this year? So we are looking at about 50 students, or a number of these students for this year's intake. Oh, here's another question. Do I have to be good in math for this course? Now, in any course, I think most of the courses, mathematics is a very helpful subject and knowledge for the course and for you to study in the courses. And so having a good result in maths, of course, is very helpful. And it will also help you in terms of the logical thinking. And so having having a good results in mathematics would be helpful for this course. Is there a lot of programming? Well, yes, there is quite a lot of programming because we are doing a lot of hands-on for the students. So there's a lot of exercises, and even the projects are hands-on. So there's a lot of programming. Yes. So another question, what is the grade criteria for the diploma in AI? Well, if you're talking about, okay, maybe, I'm not sure what's the actual, whether you're referring to O-level grades or the grade AI. So if you're talking about O-level result, so it depends, all right? So it's quite a competitive, it's a very competitive course to come in. So it will be good for you to have a good grade, all right, to come into the course. Yeah. I hope that answers the questions. All right. So another question: what kind of companies? Okay, this one I think I already answered. So. Let's see. Okay, maybe on the to add on to just now the question about the mathematics as a subject, right? So it will also be good if you have good English, all right? If you do want English, Maths, and I think 3 other relevant subjects, you should also check on the website the criteria for more details, right, coming into this course, because the website does provide more details about this. So if you want to go to the website, just go to TP website and search for Diploma in Applied Artificial Intelligence, and there will be criteria listed there on the entrance requirement. All right, here's another question. Who are your partners for this course? All right, so we have a couple of partners. For example, Huawei, NVIDIA, IBM, and SenseTime. Right. So these are the partners that we have for this course. Yes. Okay, another question on, is there a lot of programming? I believe I've answered that. Yes, there's a lot of programming involved. All right, another question. What programming languages do you teach? All right. So in the first year, the students will learn Java, all right, and then they also learn JavaScript, Python, HTML, CSS, and SQL. So these are the programming languages that the students will be learning. Another question, is CCA compulsory? No, it's not compulsory, but students are encouraged to join a CCA because in the real world, companies are looking for students or potential employees, not just based on their grades or their results or their technical strength, but they are also looking at the soft skills of the students or the grads. So that because these soft skills include communication, include team bonding, team building, and work a team player. So these are very important for the company to decide on employing a potential candidate. What jobs can I do after this course? So after you graduate from this course, you can look forward to jobs such as AI engineer, machine learning engineer, data analyst, software engineer, even the ML developer, like machine learning developers. So there are various job roles that you can actually take on after you graduate from this course. Oh, another question. Are there degree courses in AI in the university? Well, so graduates can of this course can also venture into degree courses in the university, such as computer science. And through the computer science, you can actually specialize in the AI area as well. So the university can be both local and overseas. Another question, how many students are you taking in? Okay, I believe I've also answered this. We are looking at about 50 students for this year. What was the cutoff points for entry in 2021? If I remember correctly, it was 11 points. All right, that question, will we be able to work on AI, especially machines? Yes, yes, you will be working on AI definitely. And you will be also handling, that means teaching the machine to learn. All right, so yes. Let's see, I think no more question already. All right. Okay, I think there's no more questions. So I thank you everyone for coming into these sessions. All right, and I look forward to seeing you in the coming intake. Thank you very much. Goodbye.